What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the DaVon Show. As I keep it everything nitty gritty, everything so saucy as I conduct but talk about professional wrestling. As I'm going into a reaction and review of Monday Night Raw that just transpired not too long ago this following evening. As we got two notable events, Money in the Bank qualifying on the men's and women's side. Pretty much we had the final stop. Pretty much it put everything on the table initially. They had to do what they had to do and initially get things adjusted to be able to advance when it came to the Money in the Bank. But in overall, the men's division, we have Sheamus, Ilja Dragunov, and Drew McIntyre, and a decent banger of the match when it came to the Money in the Bank, leading up to an advancement. We also had a decent women's match of Zoey Starks, Ivy Now, and Dakota Kai. And I could talk so much when it comes to that initial match. That match was really good too when it came to the women's division. We also had another Rey Mysterio and a Dominic Mysterio classic with so much chaos and drama happening initially along those lines of that match. We also had developing the story of Zelina Vega versus Liv Morgan and for the women's world heavyweight championship. Also, we have the developing story of things going on with Damian Priest and Seth Rollins of having their face-to-face off before their initial clash at Money in the Bank, as well as the development story of Liv Morgan's storyline going on with Judgment Day just in general. But I saw tonight the seeds were being planted as things initially was changing things up into a fast-paced course, as we saw Finn Balor had a whole lot to say and he initially got his piece and he was spitting facts when it came to initially everything that had transpired over the course of these past few weeks since Damian Priest has been the world heavyweight champion. But we kick off the show when it came to Jey Uso kicking it off, and of course things really got into high gear when it came to initially Jey Uso saying his piece, getting his promo off, hyping the crowd. The crowd was really invested when it came to everything about Jey Uso. Jey Uso is so over right now. You know you're gonna get your money's worth. Just in general with Jey Uso, I'm loving his work. And just the way how he continues to be captivating, keeping us highly invested each and every single week. And I look forward to seeing more of Jey Uso, initially getting in a sparring spot, even coming Yeet in the Bank or Money in the Bank or whatever the catchphrase may be initially be that he want to initially hold on. He hasn't made a full tagline yet, but he's coming up with suggestions. But I think he's the notable one I will love to see win that Money in the Bank so he'd be able to advance. But initially, I don't think so. I think he probably most likely will probably advance on to other situations when it comes to the bloodline storyline being developed, as we had Solo Sikoa of last week initially taking out the wise man Paul Heyman. In some kind of fashion, Jey Uso most likely probably be involved in it. Maybe as most likely Survivor Series when it comes to initially they're gonna get that big pop when initially when Roman needs somebody to back him up. Jimmy and Jay's gonna be the ones initially be the ones to step up to the plate and have his back. Initially, it will be a crossover branding. So Jey Uso will initially be able to help out when it comes to the initial bloodline civil war, which is going to be nothing but good professional wrestling. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be hard hitting when it comes to the initial match, when it comes to War Games at Survivor Series. But I most likely will be invested just to see how things continue to be developed. But you know you're going to get your money's worth just in general. But initially, going back into the initial, the promo, it was decent. It was a lot of back and forth, and then we end up had an interruption from Chad Gable, who initially was just trying to plant the seeds of having the Wyatt Six initially get involved and stuff like that. But initially, Jey Uso and Chad Gable got into a melee brawl. Jey Uso was able to initially get a couple off of his signature punches, similar to The Rock, and then hit that beautiful super kick that initially sealed the deal when it came to everything initially had happened. But for the most part, things really broke down after Chad Gable rolled out the ring. The Wyatt Six initially made their presence with the lights initially going out, similar to Fiend style. And then the bell tone rung. Jey Uso got out of there so quickly you wouldn't even know where Jey Uso went. Chad Gable continue to be a hidden piece when it comes to everything initially to transpire and continue to be pushed when it comes to the bloodline. But I know it's going to be great when it comes to the Wyatt Six and so much more. Chad Gable continues to be the talk of the town. He look like he's going to be getting advancement some kind of way. I feel like he'll be the one that initially pick up the victory and become Money in the Bank. Initially, maybe he becomes successful, but he's getting over about a day when it comes to the situation. When it comes to the Wyatt Six, of course, things initially spooked Chad Gable throughout the whole course of that little prelude of them initially having the lights out, showing each member of the Wyatt Six. Chad Gable was chased off and kind of scared. But initially, the mural piece was when we had Abby the Witch initially came down to the commentary desk. Check out the security. I don't know what's up with the security. Security keeps always getting taken out on Monday Night Raw and just thrown to the wind. And she presented another box directly to Michael Cole, and things initially continue to be progress, which initially it contained another videotape of the progress of things initially keep going on with Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy. But in overall, it was a great segment. I enjoyed everything that initially kicked off when it came to Monday Night Raw. The ladder match teaser is going to be great when it came to everything that she was involved in the background and so much more. But the rivalry between Jey Uso and Chad Gable is going to be red hot. And I look forward to seeing more of it as things continue to progress with this initial feud. Then we got ready for the initial next match of the night. We ended up having Xavier Woods taking on Karrion Kross. This match was a okay match. It was very mid, but I give it maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars, but it was a takeaway when it came to Karrion Kross. I would like to see more of what Karrion Kross initially can do, but things was really good from back and forth. Everything initially had happened in this match. It was Karrion Kross showing his dominance with his strength, but of course it was Xavier Woods with initially controlling everything and basically just outwitting Karrion Kross in a really big way, and to throw Karrion Kross directly off his game as things initially had broke down, as Karrion Kross got picked up by a lovely schoolboy, the old school way of initially getting that little fruit roll up pinfall, and surprised Karrion Kross with an initial pinfall when it came to everything that initially had transpired. But the post match was really the talk of the town, as after things initially broke down, AOP initially took out Xavier Woods. Kofi Kingston was trying to help out in Brawl as well when it came to the Final Testament, but it was when Karrion Kross put on an armbar initial submission hold, and when he was put Kofi Kingston down to the mat, and look, he initially was nearly about to snap him in half when it came to his arm, and things continue to progress as the fallen New Day was sitting there prone as they initially need some kind of help with somebody to be there. But this might be teaching towards Big E's return, but they've been kind of quiet when it comes to his initial injury situation. But in overall, I'll give it okay when it comes to just the general build of this thing. It kind of got stale. But in overall, I'll continue. It's just something that continue to be pushed on Monday Night Raw. But I feel like the Authors of Pain are kind of like in the limbo. Same when it comes to Karrion Kross. Same when it comes to New Day. New Day needs to find something fresh. Maybe a lot of people on the internet wrestling community was teasing that maybe that Xavier Woods is going to initially turn heel because he's getting frustrated with the situation that continues to be pushed in progress. But I'll be highly interested to see how things continue to progress when it comes to everything within this initial feud. But initially, it was okay for what it was, and I had no complaints when it came to everything that initially broke down. Then we had a backstage segment of the Judgment Day initially coming into their playhouse. Of course, Judgment Day continued as Damian Priest caught Dominic Mysterio lying about talking to Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan exciting the faction layer, and Finn Balor took exception to the World Heavyweight Champion comments of last week. And the best part initially of the story is initially when Finn Balor told Damian Priest initially he is the problem, and ever since he's won the World Heavyweight Championship, his attitude and his demeanor has changed. And of course, the promo in the segment was really decent, and there was no takeaways when it came to this. It was great. Continue with the development story of everything initially happened. But of course, Liv Morgan ended up leaving the Judgment Day clubhouse, and things initially broke down from there. As Liv Morgan is going to get herself hurt because Rhea Ripley is initially is pissed off. She's pissed off to the T, and they're planting the seeds for Rhea Ripley initially making her initial return to the Red brand. Then we got ready for initial match of the night, the Women's World Heavyweight Championship of Liv Morgan taking on no other than Zelina Vega, who's now getting a nice spot in this initial match. This match was great, a lot of back and forth. Rey Mysterio was there at ringside, same when it came to Dominic. So many different notable things happened throughout this match. It was great seeing all the back and forth action. It was okay for the was. I'll give it maybe a 3.8 out of 5 stars. But it kept me highly invested when it came to initially everything that initially had transpired. But in overall, Liv Morgan ended up picking up the victory by hitting out a beautiful Oblivion for the initial 1, 2, 3 to retain the Women's World Heavyweight Championship lead up to the feud with Rhea Ripley at some time at SummerSlam. But in takeaway, Dan initially it continues to build up with Dominic Mysterio as Dominic ended up landing on Liv, and Liv when this took advantage of the situation when it came to later in the match. When it came to Dominic's initial match, Liv Morgan assorted herself and got involved and continued to plant the seeds and playing mind games when it comes to Dominic Mysterio. But maybe is this becoming too much of a distraction and initially throwing him off of his momentum of getting wins because he's cracking up the losses. But we shall see how things initially continue to progress in the upcoming weeks. Then we got ready for the whole situation of the next following match. We had Judgment Day interrupt Seth Rollins. Of course, they had enough little segment as Seth Rollins made his entrance out. He popped the crowd. The pyro was on point. He was tooted and booted. And then, of course, Damian Priest and Finn Balor came down there to say their piece. Things just have their next face-to-face off. And it was great television seeing this initial segment. It was decent for what it was, but the most of the part is when Finn Balor initially got attacked. Seth Rollins, Damian Priest got himself involved for saying we don't play that. He can handle his own business and wanted Finn Balor to get off him like a rabid dog. But Finn initially is saying, hey, but where we used to put the beat down on people, and this just feels completely off the rails when it comes to everything initially on Monday Night Raw, just in general of what Judgment Day usually does. But the tides have initially changed, and maybe Damian Priest is having a soft spot for most of his opponents, but he initially is just trying to prove that he's a better man and he can do things by himself with this whole new confidence being part of him when it comes to just everything in general and how he's displaying himself and his mannerism and so much more. But the takeaway about this is that I feel like Seth Rollins may have that edge of initially becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, because I feel like some kind of way Judgment Day is just going to cost him the World Heavyweight Championship because of the way how Damian Priest has been acting. It may cause a backfire where Damian Priest may lash out at them and may actually want to come on the fence, may push Finn Balor. The rest of the members may feel some kind of initial way. Then they may end up put the beat down on Damian Priest, leave him by himself for Rhea Ripley return with alongside of Damian Priest to go to battle with the Judgment Day in some kind of way or fashion, but leaving Dominic Mysterio kind of in the middle because he got to pick which side he wants to go. But initially, he's kind of tongue-tied and kind of like got Liv basically about to have him wrapped around her finger, and it's going to piss Rhea Ripley off. But the situation is going to continue to progress as we may have a Damian Priest turn face and a Rhea Ripley face against the rest of the Judgment Day, including Carlito. Then we got ready for a Money in the Bank qualifying match. It was a 3-way. We had a decent women's action of Zoey Starks, Dakota Kai, and Ivy Nile that did their thing tonight when it came to the technical wrestling. These ladies went ahead and go. My go-to woman was Dakota Kai, but she initially came up short when it came to everything that initially happened. But this was a lot of fun when it came back and forth wrestling. So much more of different things initially happened under the sun. And I honestly wanted to see more when it came to what these ladies can do, because they really have been getting a backseat in catering and really have been getting a whole lot of spotlight. But now seeing what these ladies initially can do for the new era of the Monday Night Raw, it was great seeing these ladies, and I literally want to see more when it comes to things happening this Saturday and the Money in the Bank with the other ladies that's initially had advanced. Zoey Starks initially got the pinfall and took advantage of things with her athleticism, and I really enjoyed everything about this. Initially, after she set her ways away from Trish Stratus and initially worked her way with and came to so many noble things, including Shayna Baszler, and so many great other things that I initially had looked forward to when it came to Zoey Stark. She's a big MVP of this match. She did her thing. Same when it came to Ivy now. She might be Maul, but she initially is great when it comes to everything. Her small feature initially keeps us all invested, and I really enjoyed everything when it came to Ivy now just in general. When it came to Dakota Kai, she just needs a chance, and I agree with her. She really had been venting her frustration of that lackluster of how things have initially have been being booked. But I want to see her in a better alignment when it comes to whatever they're initially going to put on the table for her, because she can go, and I initially will be excited in the long run when Triple H will initially be ready to give her that initial push, and I'll be okay with that. But congratulations to Zoey Starks for initially getting the pinfall. This match was a 3 out of 5 stars, but it still kept me invested. But it was just average at best. It was okay. It kept me entertained. But it was development story. It was good entertainment when it came to the women's division. Then, of course, we get the latest video of the Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas segment. This segment was great. They continue to hit all the great pieces when it came to everything, and I enjoyed everything about the developing story. I'll give this a 5-star when it came to production, the lighting, the cinematic part of going back and forth of Bo Dallas transitioning to Uncle Howdy, and I enjoyed everything little piece about this initial situation when it came to everything that initially happened. Then we, of course, pan from that and we go to another segment of the Alpha Academy, of course, with Chad Gable, most likely talking to them, trying to get them convinced and to help them out when it comes to situation, when it comes to everything he's dealing with, including the Wyatt Six. Of course, Otis is not dealing with that whatsoever. He's can care less, but we shall see how things initially progress. But as well as the developing story, is he a part of the false prophets? Is the bloodline going to be involved when it comes to, as well, going back to talking about Uncle Howdy? He talked about Chad Gable, Alpha Academy, Dominic Mysterio, and Solo Sikoa, and a revamped bloodline. Are we going to see a bloodline versus the Wyatt Six, which can be a really great showcasing and storytelling? And I'll be highly vested to see that, to see how things initially progress, as initially Roman Reigns started the trend when it came to him beating the Fiend, and now the family of the Wyatt Six is looking to get revenge on initially the whole entire family. But we shall see how things initially progress initially within the show. Then we got ready for the lovely father and son match, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Got a lot of it when it came to luchador wrestling, everything under the sun. This great match was great. Zelina Vega got herself involved, and we got the melee brawl with Liv Morgan being involved, and so many takeable great things that initially happened. But in overall, this match was great. I give it basically a 4 out of 5 stars. Kept me on my toes, kept me highly invested. Rey Mysterio was able to hit that lovely victory with that lovely splash for the 1-2-3. And the developing story was when Dominic Mysterio got drop kicked into Liv Morgan and it's landed on top of her, but Liv Morgan was trying to keep him on top of him, but Rey wasn't having that and basically took advantage of now advancing past Dominic Mysterio with having another victory of 2-0. And Dominic Mysterio now may feel some kind of way because now he's on a losing streak because Liv Morgan keeps now getting involved, even though she's helping everybody else, but it's not helping Dominic whatsoever. But in overall, last year's WrestleMania's match was a lot better than this one. But this one didn't take no character takeaway when it came to everything that she happened. Both players, both of them have great chemistry of knowing how to work with each other, and things really was really great just in this match alone. I look forward to seeing a continuation of the developing story, but the conversation is up there that Rey Mysterio is one of the top GOATs of all time, of being one of those top 5 technical small man that can go, especially when we talk about Bryan Danielson, when we talk about Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, John Cena, and so many more, including Eddie Guerrero, who are part of that elite of small athletes that can go. And I look forward to seeing more of Rey Mysterio in his luxurious, great Hall of Fame career of doing more when it comes to everything. Then we had the Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker situation. This was great television all across the board. The promo really delivered when it came to Sami Zayn. Braun Breaker just basically just broke the hell out of him after this situation. Everything broke down. But the real talk of the town was when he's trying to go to all around the world spear, and just he missed it, and Sami Zayn hopped right directly over him, and he landed directly into the announcer's table, not necessarily but the steel steps, and initially was taken out directly when it came to all that force. And of course, initially things continue to progress as I'm looking forward to seeing how things be highlighted, as well as seeing Braun Breaker become the new Intercontinental Champion. I think he'll be my high pick just in general of seeing how things continue to progress. But he's my main man that initially needs to have the title into the new era under the Hunter regime. And he's the man right now when it comes to everything is on point. His athleticism of everything that he initially brings to the table. And you know you're going to get your money's worth when it comes to Braun Breaker. But this segment, I gave it a solid 4.2 out of 5. It kept me highly invested. But the speed of Braun Breaker is just amazing. But Sami Zayn, someone you definitely do not want to sleep on when it comes to just wrestling in general. But we're going to go ahead and get into the main event of the night. We ended up having a really great main event of Sheamus, Ilja Dragunov, and Drew McIntyre. This is a banger after banger after banger. I can say that all day long when I'm talking about this direct match. This match was hard hitting, strong style, everything you can ask for when it came to this match. Ilja Dragunov was doing his thing. The spots that he was implementing in this match kept me highly invested. Sheamus now is toning up, getting himself right. And it was nice to see when he saw him initially arrive in the arena and he came in a Cybertruck, a Tesla Cybertruck. But things continue to progress with Drew McIntyre, as Drew McIntyre was initially going to be the pick because they had to keep that developing story with CM Punk, which in some way or some fashion, I feel like either CM Punk or AJ Lee is going to interfere in this match and initially cost CM Punk, not cost Drew McIntyre in some kind of way or fashion. And it's going to lead up to them battling at SummerSlam. And I know it's going to be a great match, but it's going to be a street fight or it's going to be a straight up just a straight brawl, just straight up, no holds bar. We don't care what happens until somebody get laid out and knocked out. The Bad Blood continues to be progress each and every single week. I'm enjoying everything with the developing storyline of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre continues to be trolling CM Punk. He initially got screwed over multiple times. He initially got his revenge back on Punk. But Punk is now initially looking to get his revenge assorted back into Drew McIntyre in some kind of way fashion. So what's the next solution? Screw him again at the World Heavyweight title in the most prestige way, the Money in the Bank. Then things initially progress as Drew McIntyre did initially win this match. This match was a 4.8 out of 5. Could have been a 5. But this match really delivered when it came to the main event as Drew McIntyre hit that Claymore and was able to pick the pick 3 with the 1, 2, 3. But the go-home show of Money in the Hall leading up to Money in the Bank was A1. I give this initial show a 3.8 out of 5. It was above average. It was great. It kept me highly invested. All the storylines leading up to everything to Money in the Bank was great, with all the high stakes, including all the triple threat matches, the main event, as well as the Y6 involvement, which really was great of seeing how things continue to be pushed. I'm wondering how things will continue to progress in Toronto under the banner of Triple H and where the Y6 may hit their next victim this following Saturday. It's going to happen, and I'll be waiting for that situation to see who will be the next victim, and it's going to be great television just in general. But I appreciate you guys coming through, show your love and support for tonight's show. But otherwise, you guys be safe. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about the show. Let's talk professional wrestling. I will chalk it up with you guys post show. Until then, you guys be safe. And I'm out here. Peace.